Why do competent people who know procedures, are experienced and have good intentions make mistakes? Mistakes that sometimes leads to a loss and in some cases personal injury. For years we have tried to come up with ways to avoid making the same mistakes over and over again. We ask ourselves, do we need more training? Does the task or process need direct supervision? Does the procedure need an update? In most cases, the answers to all these questions is no. None of these actions will prevent us from continue to make mistakes. Some say, mistakes just happen, it's part of life. The book Turn the Ship Around is the true story about the captain on board a nuclear submarine that successfully changed the behavior of the entire crew. It is a story about going from being the worst performers to the best performers the US Navy had ever seen. One example is the captain's intent to prevent people from making mistakes. In particular, mistakes made between operators and the equipment. Actions no one consciously meant to do. The change started with the captain summoning his chiefs to discuss possible solutions. On this particular occasion, one of his chiefs said, "It is the lack of attention, sir. They are on autopilot. The brain is not engaged before they do what they do. They are just executing a procedure." The captain thought this was perceptive, so they discussed a mechanism for engaging the brain before acting and proposed, take deliberate action as a mechanism for competence. This meant that prior to any action, the operator paused, vocalized and gestured towards what he was about to do, and only after taking a deliberate pause would he execute the action. Deliberate actions were not performed for the benefit of an observer or an inspector. The goal of take deliberate action was to introduce deliberateness in the mind of the operator to eliminate those automatic mistakes. Having identified the solution to prevent what many believe is just part of life, the challenge now was to sell this mechanism for competence to the crew. Even though the captain and his crew talked continually about how deliberate action was to prevent the individual from making silly mistakes, the captain overheard sailors discussing deliberate action among themselves in a misperceived way. Their perception was that deliberate action was for someone else's benefit. The second problem was overcoming the belief that deliberate action was something you did as a training exercise. The captain used the following thought experiment to highlight this error. Suppose we are conducting a training drill around Pearl Harbor and the ship loses all propulsion due to errors. What happens? We would surface and call for help, which is nearby. What happens, however, if we lose all propulsion in a real situation, in the face of the enemy due to errors? The key is, as the importance of doing things right increases, so does the need to act deliberately. Time showed that deliberate action was the single most powerful mechanism implemented for reducing mistakes and making the submarine operationally excellent. Deliberate action is a mechanism for competence, with the goal of introducing deliberateness in the mind of the operator. How do we want to prevent mistakes from happening? Based on the feedback and input from crew members, there is an agreement and willingness to implement a speak-to-act culture that works for everyone. Next is a 10-minute video with practical examples from the vessels. Although fairly obvious, the following is an example of what not to do.
Have you seen this? Everything on the streamer winches needs to be done. I wonder what the heck those guys have been doing.
You want to do it now?
Yep, let's get to it now. All right, we've got one day to finish this off, so I think we should take a look, try to do it effectively. How do you want to handle this?
We'll just go out and do it.
Okay, Oz. I don't know anything about these things. It's your game. I haven't seen any work instructions, anything. Do we need to have anything?
It's been a while since I've worked on it. Yeah, I'll have a go.
Are you gonna be all right like that?
Yeah, I've done it before. No problem.
Yeah, this stuff is pretty high voltage. Do we need any kind of like anything? I don't know. I'd be afraid to touch it. Lockout, tag out,
Really?
or no?
You should. But, you know, what do you think?
All right.
Morning, guys.
Morning, mate.
Morning.
Yeah, guys. Just before you start the maintenance this morning, make sure you check that there's a ground fault on winch number 9.
To know that you have made a mistake, whether it is deliberate or not, our intentions in most cases are good. To recognize the benefits of complying with safe procedures, to resist taking shortcuts, and to stop and intervene if you know something is not right is fundamental for safe operations. To introduce Pause Speak Act, let's take a quick look at the illustrations presented in the safety intervention video, where we talk about how gaps in our mechanical and procedural safeguards, including people's behavior, can lead to incidents. We explained that by closing these gaps, we prevent incidents from occurring. Pause Speak Act and intervention do just that. They work hand in hand, reducing mistakes in human behavior. Pause Speak Act is a paperless exercise that prepares us for the task at hand and assists us to stay focused throughout the process.
Ozzy, have you seen this prevent web on the streamer winch, the electrical work? There's a whole heck of a lot of stuff to do here. You thought about it?
Yes, mate. I'm one step ahead of you. I printed the checklist out already, so we're good to go. So nothing will be missed.
We're gonna need it with this. You know what? I have a thought. Maybe we should, what's that new thing we just saw in PSA?
Pause Speak Act.
Yeah, we should try that on here. I don't know, just give it a run.
It's a good idea, mate.
You know, then we can give them feedback, see how it goes.
Let's go for it.
So good?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Okay, Oz, it looks like we got the tools to start. We got the ladder, check.
Check.
Got the lockout tag out in place, check.
Done.
Okay, permit to work?
Permit to work and toolbox
Perfect.
both complete. Tools in my hand,
Okay, ready to go.
ready to go.
Bada bing, bada boom.
Away we go.
Okay, forward motor first.
Forward motor first.
Okay, check bulkhead wiring connections on electrical box.
Bulkhead wire connections on electrical box. Top
Check,
one.
check cabling for damage and corrosion.
Check cabling for damage and corrosion. Check.
Check bulkhead wiring connections.
Check bulkhead wire connections. Whoa. Crack in the bulkhead wire connection, looks like.
Ah, okay. So that could be that could get water in there.
That's correct.
Okay, I'll write that down.
Yep.
Yeah.
Good morning, guys.
Okay.
Just to let you know, I want you guys to check this earth fault that's on winch number 9 this morning.
That must be that crack. You know, the one you found in the bulkhead
Yeah,
connection.
yeah.
Yeah, we found something out there. It's the aft motor bulkhead connection where the wiring goes in. It's cracked. Look at that.
Radio. See if they communicate. Yeah, it's all working. We have the bilge pump. You don't hear it, but the switches, test the switches.
For some tasks, we use checklists, but in many cases, we know the procedure by heart and tend to just do it. Speaking out loud is for many a way to stay focused throughout the entire process, and in some instances, as if you had a checklist.
Arm works. Top bottom works. Okay, that's good.
The intent behind Pause, Speak, Act is to arm you with a simple but effective behavioral tool that can be used in everyday tasks. Pause, Speak, Act will disengage the autopilot mode and allow thought to be given before performing the job and to help stay concentrated throughout the process.
Okay, let's see. I'm going to check the mechanical and electrical integrity of the gun array oil pumps. And we're going to start by checking to see, number one, that the hose switch, that they are turned off and they're in the off position. Oilers are off, everything's in place. Check the reservoir, see how much is in there, and there's quite a bit still in there. So it's okay, the pump will not run dry. Check the other one as well, and it has.
In the beginning, speaking out loud when you are by yourself might feel a bit weird and uncomfortable, but the more you do it, the easier it becomes.
And it is, so we don't have any oil spill, so the hose is safely.
During this task, it might seem a bit over the top, but who cares? Do whatever it takes for you to allow thought to be given before performing the job, and do whatever it takes for you to stay focused on the task at hand.
Leaks anywhere? We're going to check the electrical.
Air pressure on deck, sensor reading good, 0 psi.
Air pressure on deck sensor, check.
Interlock switch, connection good.
Interlock switch, connection good, check.
Isolation valve closed.
Okay, Alexi, we're going to come in with the arms, pick it up, and raise it up, and we'll test it, and we'll put the sections on, okay?
Okay, JSA. I'll wait for our order.
Okay, so start on the starboard arm, come in on the starboard arm.
Okay, going in.
Most likely, you will realize that you are already performing Pause, Speak, Act for some tasks.
Coming.
But remember, as the importance of doing things right increases, so does the need to perform Pause, Speak,
Okay, stop
Act.
on the starboard arm. Down a little bit on the starboard arm.
Go down.
Stop. Okay, stop. We'll say take tension. Once we're ready, you'll continue on, okay?
Whether you are conducting a routine or non-routine task, participate in a drill, or have to deal with emergency situations, the reason for Pause, Speak, Act can vary. In team settings, besides from communicating actions to the team,
Okay, tension's on.
speaking out loud before acting might allow time for a teammate to intervene or for the operator himself to perhaps recognize an error before it's too late.
I think it's more slippery on the top, and then maybe we can take some rags or absorbent in there to be safe when we step up. And some salt in there was lying on the deck. I can clean that one, and then when you come back, and then it's okay, we can proceed and to put the pump inside in the crane.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I'm ready to go up. And then after when
You
I
will
go
go
up
first?
in there,
And then I will give you the pads and the rugs. Okay?
Okay. Okay, now. 1, so I count 1, 2, 3. Then we're gonna lift it up and we're gonna hold it.
Okay.
I'm gonna put my knee here. This. Okay, we're gonna pull. Okay, 1, 2, 3.
Hold.
Okay, stop.
Stop.
Pause, speak, act is a paperless exercise with the intention of engaging the brain prior to doing the job and allow a person or a team to stay alert and focused throughout the process.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Yeah,
little,
okay.
little bit up.
up.
Okay.
Pause. You take a deliberate pause to think about what you are about to do. Speak. You speak out loud and gesture or point towards what you are about to do. Act. You do it.